I'm Chris Fox, and this is The Bourbonite. Previously, I talked about how you're supposed to drink your whiskey. But recently, a scientific study, I kid you not, a scientific study just came out explaining how you're actually supposed to drink your whiskey. A group of Swedish scientists recently discovered that adding water to your whiskey will actually make it taste better. Okay, so here's the science. Brace yourself. Ethanol and guaiacol molecules normally stick together in whiskey. Now, we all know what ethanol is. It's alcohol. But guaiacol is what gives whiskey, essentially, its flavor. It adds the smokiness to scotch and even the smokiness and some of the sweetness to bourbon. So these scientists found that when you add water to your whiskey, it actually causes those guaiacol molecules to float to the top of your glass. So you're not actually diluting your whiskey or bruising your whiskey, as some might call it. In fact, you're causing the more subtle flavors to rise to the top, meaning that's what hits your lips first. Now hold on, there's more science and another theory. Whiskey has these fatty acid esters, which have two different effects. The front end, or the head of these esters, is attracted electrostatically to the water, and the back end, or the tail, is not. So these fatty acid esters form a molecule called micelles. So what's happening when the micelles are created is that the back end, or the tails of the esters, are actually relegated to the inside, and the heads are relegated to the outside, which creates essentially a sphere. The scientists aren't 100% sure, but these spheres could potentially trap nasty or bad flavored compounds that are in your whiskey. Now, this second theory is far less likely, according to the scientists, because there are just not that many fatty acid esters in your whiskey. They have a really low concentration, so the likelihood that this actually has any sort of effect is slim to none. While the study that claims that the guaiacol molecules actually bring the better flavors towards the top and hits your lips first is still debatable. In fact, there's several distillers that have already come out and said, the guys who are doing these tests are not necessarily taking measurements in the right places or at the right times. One was even said that they didn't use a tall enough vat. I'm not an expert, it's really hard to say, but it's still debatable. But more importantly, this brings us to the question of how should you really drink your whiskey? Expressing such a sentiment on the internet, you're bound to get your ass chewed out by a fair number of people. Believe me, I know. Really, it's all about what you like best. If you want to drink with water, if you want to drink it mixed, if you want to drink it with ice, or you want to drink it neat, the key is you better enjoy it. This shit's amazing, and you shouldn't let it go to waste. I'm still always going to start it out neat, and then as I go along, add a couple drops of water, because, that's the right way. But it really is about how you want to drink it, science or not. So if you like what you've seen, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because there's plenty more whiskey debate and probably some science to come. Guaiacol.
Guaiacol or guaiacol.
Guaiacol. Okay. It itself has these fatty acid fatty acid esters.